Hello gardeners, welcome to another video. I'm Joe Gadbois with Greenland Garden Center, and in today's video we're looking at the top trending tropicals on Instagram. Now, tropical plants in recent years have exploded in popularity, and just about every age group is obsessed with these plants. Now, Instagram is one of the preferred platforms, especially for millennials, to discover new plants and kind of get inspired with decorating with tropical plants in the home. So we've compiled a list of the top 10 most trendy tropical plants on Instagram right now. Keep in mind, this list changes all the time, but as of today's date filming, this is what's really trendy right now. So number one on the list is Hoyas. Now, Hoyas are kind of an old-fashioned houseplant that are just seeing a huge resurgence in popularity, and there's many different species, literally hundreds of different species that you can collect. Only a handful that are really readily available at garden centers, but they're popular because they're easy to grow, they're beautiful, you have all these different color patterns on the foliage, and they actually, most of them have very scented flowers. So when you get these guys to flower, they're just absolutely beautiful to have. So it is a vining houseplant that's very easy to look after. Number two on the list is Anthurium, and specifically foliage types of Anthurium. So not so much the guys that have the colorful flowers, which we sometimes call flamingo flowers, but the ones that have really unique foliage. So one example is this guy. This is Anthurium ploumanii, and beautiful sort of bird's nest style rosette of leaves with the sort of curled, ruffled edges. So a stunning foliage plant, and really it is foliage plants that are in right now. With Anthuriums, the ones that are super popular are the ones like Anthurium clarinervium that have the silver patterned foliage. Those are very rare and very expensive. But yes, Anthuriums in general, the foliage types, very hot right now. Number three on the list is Philodendrons. Now, again, Philodendron, kind of a classic foliage house plant. That's what's really in right now. Mostly what people are looking for is the trailing type, such as Philodendron cordatum or heartleaf philodendron, which is this guy here. This one is called Neon. There are some really unique varieties like Pink Princess that are exploding in popularity right now. Some of those also very difficult to find, but very easy to grow, tolerant of relatively low light, so great ones to have. Now, number four on the list is Monstera. The beautiful split leaf of Monstera deliciosa has become a symbol of plant geekdom on the internet, and it is just a really beautiful plant. Another one that was really popular back in the 70s and is just seeing a huge resurgence in popularity right now. This is one that I have, and I love it so much. They grow fast, big beautiful leaves, easy to grow. And one that is perhaps even more popular is the Swiss cheese vine, Monstera adansonii. And this has been really highly sought after by plant lovers for quite some time. It is finally starting to become more common on the market. So it just has these really interesting leaves that are covered in holes, which are botanically called fenestrations. It's thought that the reason why these plants have this is so that in areas where they grow, where there's really strong winds, powerful rain, hail, that sort of thing, the leaves are less easily damaged. So just kind of an interesting plant. But this one has more of a trailing growth habit. Monstera deliciosa is a climber, but it doesn't have quite the same sort of trailing vining growth habit that Monstera adansonii has. So those guys, the Monsteras collectively, are number four on this list. Number five is Sansevieria or snake plant, and again there's many different kinds that are out there. The whale fin is particularly popular right now. They have these incredibly stiff, wide leaves, very, very cool, very unique looking. There's also a variegated form of it. These are still somewhat uncommon on the marketplace. They're just starting to become more readily available, but if you can get your hands on one, it's a unique plant that couldn't be easier to grow. The nice thing about snake plants, and I'll show you one of the more sort of usual varieties here, the nice thing about these, there's something for everyone. You can get smaller varieties, you can get larger varieties. There's all different color patterns on the leaves that you can find, and they are almost impossible to kill. These will grow in very low light. They will grow in relatively bright light as well if you have brighter light, and they don't need a lot of moisture. In fact, really the only way to kill these things is to overwater them. So super, super easy to care for. One of the best plants for a beginner tropical plant grower. Number 6 on the list is Peperomias. Now, Peperomias, again, large group of plants, lots of different types. You have more sort of clump forming types like this one, which is Rana Verde. And you have more trailing types like this guy, which is Pepperface. There's also really unique looking ones like the watermelon type. But Peperomias, again, easy to grow. They like bright indirect light, and let them partially dry out between waterings. Number 7 on the list is Pothos. Now, there are 2 major groups of Pothos. There are the Syndapsis, which are these guys here. They tend to have more of a silvery colored leaf. Absolutely beautiful and so easy to grow. And then you have the Epipremnum, which is the more classic Pothos. This is the golden Pothos, so it has that golden flecking on the foliage. Both very easy to grow, and both types are super hot right now. A lot of people are collecting all of the different varieties that are on the market. So that's Pothos, number 7. Number 8 is Calathea. Calathea are a great plant to have for lower light conditions. They do like to have higher humidity and more consistent moisture. So those are the main sort of things to keep in mind. But you can get these in such beautiful colors on the foliage. Again, foliage plants are what are really hot right now. And there are many different types. Some of the most sought after types, as is sort of the kind of trend here, are still really hard to find and quite expensive, but they're all really fantastic plants to own. So that's number 8, Calathea. Number 9 is really string of anything. So I like to say that any type of plant that's a string of something is a popular plant. And one example is the string of bananas, which is this guy here. So these are popular again because they're so easy to grow, but people just think they're really cute, and they are super cute. In addition to string of bananas, there's string of pearls, string of dolphins, string of hearts, all kinds of different string plants, and all of them are very popular. Most of them, pretty much all the ones I mentioned except for the string of hearts, are all just different species of Senecio. So they're succulent plants that trail like this, and you can grow them in a hanging basket or on a pedestal, and they look absolutely fantastic. Just make sure they get lots of light and grow them very much on the dry side, like any type of succulent. Number 10, last but not least, is the Fiddle-leaf Fig. Now, the Fiddle-leaf Fig was one of the first plants to really hit Instagram as a popular tropical plant, and it's still really popular. It is a major fixture in modern home decor. You see it in magazines, you see it on Pinterest, you see it on Instagram, you see it in advertisements everywhere for companies that are selling furniture or any element of home decor. You're going to see fiddle-leaf figs in those photographs. And they're just a really beautiful contemporary plant. The large, dark green, glossy leaves on them just really lend themselves well to modern home decor. Fiddle-leaf figs do have a little bit of a reputation, as do many figs, for being slightly on the finicky side. The main thing is provide lots of bright light, not necessarily direct sun, but lots of bright light. Keep them away from drafts and don't move them around the house. They respond to changes in growing conditions by dropping their leaves. So don't be alarmed if when you first bring your plant home it does drop a few leaves. That's normal. It's adjusting to its new home. But make sure it stays where it's going to stay for a long period of time with lots of light, and just be consistent with watering. So this has been our top 10 most trendy plants on Instagram. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you think I missed any, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. Follow us, subscribe on YouTube, like us and follow us on Facebook and on Instagram, and visit our website at greenlandgarden.com for more great tips on gardening and horticulture. Thank you so much. Take care.